Noisy Parker, yeah, good to have you, Noisy Parker. Definitely maybe was the pinnacle. After that, it was downhill. It's probably the amount of drugs that they took. I mean, how much drugs must they have took? I'll tell you a funny story actually about Alan McGee. Alan McGee is maybe he's still their manager, or he was their, well, he's definitely the guy that signed them, right? And a couple of years ago I made this programme, I'll find it. It was episode 1, with Cat Boy. Anyway, we made this programme.
It was really like, trying to say.
It was like After Dark, right? And everybody was sitting around talking culture. But unfortunately, right, there's a guest here who isn't actually in the room, right? And instead we've got this guy, wait a minute, we've got this guy over here who is the husband of her. But he wasn't meant to be on it. Alan McGee was meant to be sitting there where that guy is, right? But f***ing 20 minutes before we were supposed to start filming downstairs, this guy here, who's the guy that owns Summerhall, called Robert. I mean, admittedly, the first one, the lighting could have been a bit. It's like it was. My mate goes, I know you were modelling it on After Dark, but you didn't have to make it in the dark. Look, we were making it without a f***ing bolt, right? We're making it with no money. So Alan McGee, right? When I went downstairs, Alan McGee had an argument with him about who had more money. Who was the biggest millionaire? And then I came upstairs and Alan wasn't there, and I was like, where's Alan McGee gone? This was like just minutes before we were supposed to start filming, and he'd f***ed off. And I phoned him and I was like, what are you doing? Where are you going in that? And he came what he said to me, right? Now the thing is, my mate here, my mate Philly, there's Philly there, right? If Philly's like super cool, like working class guy for Leaf, singer, artist and that, and Alan McGee goes to me like, oh, this guy, he said he was trying to argue with me about money. He said I've got more cash, he's got more cash than me or something, and I've got more assets and that. This is what he was saying to me on the phone, and then he goes to me, he goes, it's too middle class anyway. I went, well, it is now that you've f***ed off. And that was like minutes before I started my debut, like I had this show. But the thing that pissed me off about it was that Philly's a great artist, and like, you know, that was our, because we had kind of figured out like, well, who's posh, who's just a bit whatever, boom, boom, boom. And so it was like, right, well, if Alan McGee and Philly, they'll have a good like vibe, because like Philly's a great artist, Alan McGee's obviously music, working class guy, they would have had a lot of synergy. But Alan left Philly high and dry and off. So for that, I've always been like, Alan, that was a bit of a shitey thing to do. But at the same time, and fair play to Robert, you know, he obviously had more money than Alan McGee or something.